Oh my gosh, you guys don't even know how much of a relief it is to be able to cross off torque converter bolts. Okay, so next I just need to get under the car and undo the engine mount nuts, the crossmember nuts. That is the only attachment point that the motor has to the chassis. So that means the only thing left to do is to attach my hoist here and there and lift this motor to raise it like Lazarus, we'll say. Oh boy, I'm nervous. And I had to reference a dead guy. That's not good luck. Alright, well let me go get these nuts off and then we'll talk about the plan going forward. Huge relief, okay. Okay, so this is the crossmember nut. So this right here is your engine mount, and this is, yeah, the crossmember, right? So there's one nut right here, and there's another one right here. So just need to get these two to spin, and then yeah, we'll go from there. There we go. Not too bad. All right, let's see if we can get this one. See if we can get this one. That one spun pretty easily, so it should be okay. There we go. Nice. Okay. So those are off. One nut. Make sure to get this washer too. Come on, washer. You need to come. There we go. There's one. There's two. There's so much oil under here that these washers are just stuck to the chassis. Disgusting. Okay, there we go. So both of the engine mounts are now free. So it's easy to see what can happen now, right? Because this is all part of the engine mount right here. So this is a little locating dowel. That's the actual bolt. So the engine mount stays with the motor as the motor lifts out. So with that free, that means nothing is attaching the motor to the chassis, which is exactly what we want. I've made sure, I've triple checked that everything that is attaching the motor to the chassis is disconnected. So that's tubes, vacuum lines, fuel lines, and then electrical, any of the harness points. So everything should be disconnected, but I might find something along the ways. Also double checked that all the bolts are out. They are. I have removed my final bolt right here. So the next step is to separate the transmission from the engine. And from what I've heard and what I've seen, like that can be kind of hard. Sometimes the transmission and the engine kind of get seized together, but fortunate for me, finally the car gods are smiling upon me. If you notice, there's a crack between the transmission, that's the transmission, and that's the back of the motor. And you see that little sliver of dark? That is a crack. That is the transmission separating from the engine, which is great news. That means it's not seized together, and it means I can pry those things apart. So the only thing that's holding the transmission to the motor right now are a few locating dowels. And those dowels, they're only about a 1/2 inch long, and once you can slide them off the dowels, and then it's just the input shaft from the transmission. So I'm not going to make that any bigger tonight, because as soon as this starts to separate, you need to have it attached to the hoist so it doesn't just go south on you really quick. So I'm going to pick this up tomorrow, where I'll attach the hoist and then separate the transmission from the engine, and fingers crossed the motor can come out tomorrow. Oh man, let's see if that happens. I almost hesitate to say that, because this has been such a such a trial to get it to this point, but I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that light looks a lot like that separation of transmission from motor. All right, until tomorrow. Okay, so I have the hoist all set up, I have my engine stand built and ready to go. I did get a leveling block just to make my life easier. So yeah, it's go time. I'm a little nervous about this, I don't know if you can tell. But here we go. Okay, so I've gotten to this point. So if you watch the Subaru only channel, which that guy has a really great playlist, it's 16 videos that detail how to remove any Subaru engine, and it's fantastic. But he talks about the angle that your car is sitting is helpful in removing the engine because of the transmission input shaft. So there's a few ways you can do it. You can do it with your car lifted up front, or flat, or pointing down. So the rear would be lifted and the front would be on the ground. I'm going to do it with the car flat because that makes the most sense to me, is I can pull the motor forward and off of the shaft and then up. So that's what I'm going to do, but I do want to be able to get under the car in case I need to look at anything for clearance. So what I think I'm going to do is jack up the car and put it on all 4 jack stands so I can have it flat and level, but I can still get under the car in case if I have to. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the car sitting flat but off the ground, and then we'll get the motor attached to the hoist. And then the last thing that I need to do is separate the transmission from the motor. So I'm going to put the jack underneath the transmission and just support it just in case. I don't want anything to shift like suddenly and bend or break something. So that's what we'll do. We'll get the car up off the ground and then we'll get the hoist attached. All right, now we'll get the hoist attached to the mounting points, the lifting points. So our mounting points are attached. So now we'll just get it tight. Make sure it's not binding. Okay, so this is the moment of truth kind of stuff. So I have a jack supporting my transmission from below. I've got my attachment points. Need to jack those up just a little bit, get them tighter. And the only thing left to do now is to separate the transmission from the engine. Oh, no turning back now. Here we go. All right, this is gonna just need a little persuasion. Just need to get the crack started big enough so I can get my pry bar in there. There we go. Oh, she's going. Nice. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh my god. Oh. I'm just gonna double check all my connection points one last time. Yeah, double check everything. And bring up some slack. Okay. This is about to happen, guys. Here we go, folks. I can see daylight through the crack here. Oh, I see the input shaft. This is like giving birth. This is weird. I hope you guys aren't creeped out by my play-by-play, but this is how I cope. It's free of the cross member now, so it's just a matter of getting it off the input shaft. Oh, there it goes. Hell yeah. I've got like this much left on the bottom locating valve. Oh, there it goes, guys. Oh, that is sketchy. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. That is terrifying. Oh my gosh. That's a free floating EJ22T. Let's get it out of here. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't drink, but I need a drink. Whew. Woo! Let's go! Easy, girl. Easy. Imperfect concrete is not your friend. I cannot tell you how much of a relief it is that the motor is out. Oh my gosh. So it's sitting pretty now. Get it on the motor stand. Holy crap, guys. I wonder if this motor's been out before, because that looks like a metal stop plate instead of the plastic one. Unless the 92s came with that. I don't think they did though. Interesting. Oh yeah, look at this though. Look at how grimy. Oh, jeez. I think I've got a leak in my steering rack. That could be oil actually. That could be, but this is just all sludge. Look at that. Ugh. Yeah, because I was leaking oil big time. Like there's still even residue, wet residue here. There's the torque converter. I hate you. I never want to see you again. Sometimes you just have to sit back and admire the holes you make in things. So the rear main seal looks really good. There's no cracking, no seeping. Like the rear main is great. I bet that has been replaced. Because I was full on expecting to see like an old crusty cracked yeah, rear main. That's good news. And I'm pretty sure this is, I don't know. So I'm pretty sure, I thought all Legacies came with the plastic back plate, and like this was something that you had to change and upgrade, but this is the metal one, and these screws look new. Like they don't look like they've been messed with, and even the seal around it is solid. You know, it's just the bottom of the engine where all the motor oil has been seeping around. That's encouraging though. Back here though, like you see, it's soggy here. That's not coming from the valve cover. It might be coming from maybe a cam. Maybe here. The other side. Oh yeah, there's some leaks going on. Probably around the turbo. But okay. Well, let's get this on an engine stand and we'll go from there. There it is, guys. My EJ22T. out of my 92 Legacy Sports Sedan is finally out. I probably shouldn't be this excited about having an engine outside of a car, but I am stoked about this. So this is what I'm talking about when I say it's grimy. Like, look at this timing belt cover. That is all caked on residue, and if you look down, it's still wet, like down here. So I think what's happening is a cam gear seal, because like you look at the bottom of the cam gears here, like there's a bunch of buildup here, there's a bunch of wet here. I think this is this my thermostat? I don't know what, I think this is the thermostat housing. This might be a problem too, because like it's really gross right around here, so the gasket in here might have given out. But like right here, yeah, as you can see pretty clearly, like there's oil right on top of the header, and it's coming out of these. Well, I don't know, because this is an oil return, I believe. No, that's coolant. I don't know. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. We'll find out. We're gonna dig into it, and all of this is gonna get cleaned up. Onward and onward. Plans going forward. It's coming up to be winter soon. I'm hoping that I can swap in the transmission before the snow flies. So that's the next on the list, is to make sure I can get enough time to do that, and to get the transmission here. It's actually not here in my garage yet. It's in another town, but I need to go grab it. But the time is the thing that I need. I'm hoping to get to that. I'm gonna be honest, I probably won't, but I hope I will. So that's the next big thing, is swapping out the transmission. And then over the winter, I'm going to reseal this motor. Because like what you saw, it's really grimy, it's really dirty. There's some major oil leaks happening somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's the cam seals, because the back of the engine looks pretty dry. It's the front of the engine that's completely coated with goop and sludge and gross stuff. So I have a reseal kit that I need to order from Subaru, the dealership. They still make them for these motors, which is great. So I need to get that on order. I'll check the timing belt while I'm here. I'll probably end up replacing it, just because why not? It's out of the motor, might as well do it. But yeah, that's the big plans. Let's get the transmission ripped out, get a manual in there, and then reseal this guy and get it good to go for another 200,000 miles. Because again, like, I don't know if you guys remember, this car has 91,000 miles on the clock. So it's not even a 100,000 mile car. But I have my suspicions about that. I find that hard to believe. All the paperwork correlates it. It says, yeah, I mean, I have paperwork from dealerships where it is service in the early 2000s, and but it's hard for me to believe that this is only 91,000 miles. It is 1992. We're going to verify that when we start looking at the motor. But oh my gosh, I can't tell you how relieved I am to have the motor out and to make this kind of progress. I'm so stoked. I am so stoked. Okay, thanks for hanging around with me on this one. This was a freaking journey. This was almost a 3-week odyssey. I just don't want to think about it anymore. Okay.